And they wanted to medicate me every day. You realize, like, they could have just switched to medication and I wouldn't be here. And on the news, they would have said it was because of a mental issue, right?
Turns out the Kanye in the spotlight ain't the real Ye. And now Joe Rogan just dropped a bomb. He straight up named Kanye West's clone, and this ain't even shocking. For years, the streets have been talking about clones, handlers, and some wild switch up. Remember them wild clips that went viral of what looked like some homeless dude sitting on a bench? Same face, same build, but completely out of place. Some fans swore up and down that it was Kanye, lost, dumped, while a double, or maybe something even crazier, is the one the world's been seeing on stage and red carpets. And once those clips hit the internet, the streets lit up with one question: is that really Ye? Now let's be real, this ain't popping up out of nowhere. Kanye himself already told us something wasn't right. He spoke openly about how his handler tried to load him up on lithium, heavy doses, the same type Britney Spears and even Michael Jackson were forced to take. And we all saw what that did to them. It wasn't therapy, but sedation.
They tried to medicate me. I was exhausted. They wrongly diagnosed me. And they when I asked them, how much lithium did you want to put me on exactly? It took them 4 days to answer because they were embarrassed about the amount, right? And I refused to take this, right? You understand that if I had taken the medication, I would not be here, and it would have been, oh, he was deeply troubled. We miss him. We love his music, though.
And when you start lining up those dots, it doesn't look like mental health treatment anymore. It looks like a weapon. And then there's Harley Pasternak, Kanye's former trainer. This dude literally threatened to have Ye locked back up and institutionalized again. Let that sink in. A personal trainer threatening a global superstar like it's nothing. And the media, they just swept it under the rug like that's normal behavior. That's where the streets started saying, hold up, something foul is going on behind the scenes. And when folks started digging into Harley's background, things got even more twisted. Turns out he used to work for the Canadian military doing research on psychological operations, literally studying how drug conditioning affect human behavior. Not hearsay, that's his resume, which has been loud about.
I was working on my PhD on exercise physiology and nutrition, got recruited by the military to help run essentially the superhuman lab, this laboratory called the Defense and Civil Institute of Environmental Medicine. And the area that I was interested in was how food affect muscular performance. And
when you say, so that like performance enhancing drugs, are they
all kinds of drugs?
Oh, right, okay.
So working for the military, I wasn't governed by the same laws that the typical person was, so I could look at the impact of certain drugs that are not.
And the list of celebs he's worked with, a lot of them either had public breakdowns or died under mysterious circumstances. Mac Miller, Brittany Murphy, and that last name hit people hard, Aaron Carter. Back on November 5th, 2022, Aaron Carter was found dead in his bathtub. Official story, they called it an accidental drowning caused by the stuff he had in his system. But here's the part that made everybody raise an eyebrow. Just one day before he passed, he hit X with a message to Ye saying, "Yo Kanye, let's talk man to man." Then, after the news of his death broke, Kanye came out in an interview and straight up implied Aaron got taken out because he wanted to link up and talk about Harley Pasternak.
Attempt to kill me or kill me like they killed Michael Jackson or JFK, or Aaron, what is the guy's name? Aaron Carter, the guy who wanted to talk to me about the Harley Pasternak situation. If they did do that, they would say, oh, it's Ye's mental health.
So the real question becomes, what are they really doing to Kanye? Even if that bench homeless dude ain't him, nobody can deny the Kanye we see today is not the same. Yeah, we had a few years back. And no, you can't blame it all on bipolar disorder. Something else shifted, something deeper. Folks in the streets ain't literally saying he got cloned in a sci-fi lab. But the talk is that the real Ye might have been heavily medicated and possibly isolated right after he started exposing things Hollywood doesn't like people to talk about.
I don't care who you are. I ain't taking no slice from nobody, right? I ain't taking no slice from nobody. It's God. That's the only person that I serve. My mom ain't here. My mama was sacrificed.
Me too.
You understand?
Yeah, I'm appreciative.
Michael Jordan, what about him? His daddy, right? Bill Cosby, his son, right? Dr. Dre, his son. You know, out in Hollywood, a lot of people come up missing. Feels like it might be a lot of that in order to control, traumatize. They want to monetize and traumatize.
They try to suppress you but that's how they try to categorize.
They can't control me. You get what I'm saying? They can control Shaq. They can control Charles Barkley. They can control LeBron James. They can control Jay-Z and Beyonce.
But not you, man.
But they can't control me.
Then came the real spooky part. December 2022, Kanye told paparazzi straight up, if I disappear and come back, that won't be me.
And they wanted to medicate me every day. You realize, like, they could have just switched to medication and I wouldn't be here. And on the news, they would have said it was because of a mental issue.
A lot of folks brushed it off like typical yeah talk, but then boom, he vanishes with his collaborator. 2 weeks, no one knows where he was, not his people, not the media, nobody. And when he popped back up, everything was different. He was suddenly strolling through Beverly Hills with Bianca, some mystery blonde nobody had heard of before. Days later, word hits that they're married. Just like that, no build-up, no explanation.
As for Ye, well, we haven't seen him really since all the anti-Semitic rants and all those interviews he was doing.
He's been
hanging around with Nick Fuentes.
Disappeared for a couple of weeks.
Really laid low. Well, he resurfaced in Beverly Hills. He was not solo though. With a woman, a blonde woman, and that's all we can tell you about her because one, we didn't get a really good look at her.
1 minute he's out here begging Kim to take him back. Next minute he switched up like a light flicked off and on. The timing, way too clean. All this happens right after he gets blacklisted for calling out industry power structures, loses major endorsements, and goes radio silent. And the Kanye who came back, he didn't move the same, he didn't talk the same, he wasn't chopping it up with paparazzi like he did just weeks earlier. He was calm, sharp, and articulate. It's like somebody hit reset on him.
Please.
No, you got the shot, but I'm saying
It was not good, but I respect you.
It's like, that's my thing. It's like, you don't even know. Y'all just jump up on people like this, and it's just like.
I apologize if I
first
caused
time-
you trouble, and you told me to stop, and I stopped.
The streets started whispering, that ain't the same, yeah? And once those clone theories picked up steam, folks started re-examining every moment of that timeline like detectives. Because when you stack all these pieces together, the lithium, the weird public sightings, the double look-alike rumors, the shady deaths, the so-called handlers, it starts looking less like random chaos and more like a well-oiled playbook. And let's be real, it ain't a secret that Hollywood got people whose whole job is to keep stars in check, make sure they don't run their mouths about the wrong things. Out there's an unspoken rule. Talk about anything you want except the system itself. You can talk about beef, cheating, even crime, but you don't expose how the industry really works or who allegedly runs the strings. And yeah, did exactly that. He broke Hollywood's unspoken rule, making him a target. So when fans saw homeless Kanye sitting alone on that bench, they started wondering, what if that is the real Ye cast aside while the polished, controlled version is paraded around? It sounds crazy, but line up the timeline, the lithium, the handler threats, the eerie behavior shift, and it paints a different picture. Even Joe Rogan hinted at it.
I think he's gonna stay off his medication. I think when he puts on his medication, he can't be creative. I think part of his thing.
And trust the online community, they've been loud. One dude hit hard saying, definitely, a clone. Another said, so that's why Kim left him and wouldn't let him see his kids, because it's not Kanye. But the real question now is, what really happened during those 2 missing weeks? And is the man we see now actually Kanye or a new version of him built different? Drop your thoughts in the comments down below and let's keep the convo going. Oh, and don't forget to smash that like button and hit subscribe for more stories straight from the hood.